So, although note values have time values to them, rests also have time values. So, instead of playing something, you just have silence. And that silence has a time value on it. So, now let's look at the different types of rests that you might see. The first type of rest we're going to talk about is called an eighth rest. And that's similar to an eighth note because they both get the same time. But obviously the rest has no sound to it. So this is what an eighth rest looks like. It looks like a 7. And an eighth rest gets, like the eighth note, half a beat. The next rest you might see is called a quarter rest, and that's similar to a quarter note. And a quarter rest looks like a worm. And just like the quarter rest, just like the quarter note, the quarter rest gets 1 beat. Now, the half rest sits on the third line of the musical staff. So if we have a staff here, it sits on the third line right there. And now there's one way you can remember a half rest. It sort of looks like a hat. And like the half note, the half rest gets 2 beats. And the last rest we're going to learn about is called a whole rest. And the whole rest hangs from the fourth line, like this. Sort of like a hole in the fourth line. Now if there was a guy walking here, he would fall into the hole. And whole sounds like whole. So a whole rest looks like a hole. And a whole rest, just like a whole note, gets 4 beats. So rests and notes are really similar, but rests are different because rests represent silence, while notes mean you play something.